also, so Joe's gone completely. Joe's no longer with the company. And how is that affecting the project? In this, I'm sorry?
Well, I'm just, finding a problem here. Joy is gone, and how's the problem?
Joe left the company for reasons having nothing to do with you, this company, or quite frankly, our company. Joe had reasons of his own. He will be missed. I like Joe, but we all, life goes on. But wait, there's more. As I said, Reece is an extremely experienced project manager. He's worked on Fortune 500 clients. He's delivered things that have been very successful. Customers have been very happy with them. And Jessica is one of our top design people.
I can tell you just a little bit about myself. I've worked on a lot of projects similar to this, and the reason I kind of reviewed the project and tried to focus on how we can move forward and take Joe's place without losing any without delaying the process. And we saw some key points that were kind of hot points for us that we felt that my design services would be critical in here. So I come
Good.
from a design background, and I've had experience.
So Joe's gone. Joe's gone. Give Brian continue the top team. The other top people. And projects. Well, we have scheduling issues we have to discuss with you.
I'm concerned with volume right now.
I'm sorry?
I'm concerned with volume right now.
I don't think we need to worry about that just yet. We can talk about all the issues of the project in a minute, but I want to talk to you about the schedule up front. In research and are you going to tell me we've got a delay? I'm going to say we have a delay. In the research and development project, there are assumptions that are made. Look, just tell me the numbers. There are assumptions that are made. And I don't need to know the reasons that. If you told me there's going to be a delay, I need to know how long. The short answer I'm sitting here. The short answer is we guessed wrong. Okay. And right now, we're looking at senior member of our company, you're giving me this news. This was our mistake. This was not John's mistake. And I can't really, there's really not anything I can say to alleviate that. It really came down to the fact that we've never done this particular task before, and we made estimates. You've let me down. I have. You've let me down. I have. And I regret that. I'm not proud of that. But we feel that we have a plan in place. We feel that we've brought in excellent people who are willing to commit new resources and additional resources. You're so make sure at a sharply discounted cost. Yeah. To wait a minute. You're telling me this project's overrunning. You're going to put additional resources on. I am. For free? At a sharply discounted. No, that's not what I want to hear. I apologize for that. But we still. So how come we have to pay for this extra resource? This is a fixed price contract. There is, this is not a fixed, this is time and materials contract. This contract was on time and materials with the assumption that, with the understanding that we may get our best guesses. And based on, talented people, this isn't, it's not like
So you have to know
you guys knew how good Joe was. And we made our best guess. And now we have to move forward.
provide you with, yes, a scaled-back solution for the same date that you had intended, but with, and then that'll roll out over the next 3 months. What we are off, well, I can turn it over to you, but we had talked about a discount before, and I'm not going to really speak about it, but we are offered to, provide other options to you of discount. We've talked with marketing, we've talked about other possible solutions that I can probably have you speak more to that.
Well, there are two issues that I want to discuss with you. The first is that having had a pretty in-depth conversation with Reece about the way he likes to work, I think the best way that we can move forward without having something like this happen again is I really want to open up the channels of communication between us. I want to set up a process where Reece has, if possible, weekly meetings with you to discuss status reports and issues. I've got some problems here. We have had a few issues with regard to getting access. Why am I here about I don't know the answer to that. I'm not the person who was tasked with that, but I will make it my job at this point to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I think one of the problems that arose before there was either a lack of communication or maybe miscommunication between our technical staff and on your side. And maybe that's just the way that you like to work, or for whatever reason, we like to work, we like to have scheduled meetings, so possibly
We can do that.
we can schedule time, we can do this later in the meeting or now, as well as we've got, actual deliverables that we can present to you to keep everything on track. And so we've got our own process we'd like to explain to you in our presentation so that problems like this don't happen.
Yeah, and one of the way forward. Absolutely. Well, can't make promises for our senior executives, but I will make sure that someone in the company contacts you. I can't say who, like I said, I can't make promises. But
us really
all the roles changed within the 2 minutes before we started.
okay. But that aside,
They seemed happy with us in the end.
At least
Oh, like you were lovely when I gave you the pen.
I think they were at least willing to work with us, you know, and they weren't happy, but they were willing to trust us again.
We and I'm not saying this is right, I'm just saying this is what I did. Because I saw that as a way that they would just continue to get angrier. I just saw that as something that, oh my God, $480,000, and they would keep coming back to that, and I was trying everything I could after it was said. It needed to be said, but it should have been said. I thought it should have been said once, and then we moved on, and I may not have handled it right, but I mean, that's really what I was after, was to stay away from the money if we could.
Yeah. Alright. Can I just make a slight cultural point for everybody? Don't ever do that to somebody in Britain. You said, how many people? You said 2. That's, stay off that.
I would have 2,
You said 2. Don't do that to people in Britain. You're going to wind them up the wrong way. Completely. Okay. Jessica. Again, I think at the start it was difficult to get a word in. You eventually got in there. You established your own background. And really, again, it was building on Joe's reputation. It wasn't dismissive of Joe's ability. It wasn't dismissive of what he'd done or why he left. It was a case of, well, okay, Joe was good, but you know, we're going to build on that. We're going to make even more success. You stayed in the adult. We don't want to portion blame. We don't want to put blame on people. You outlined the problematic points. You've done the detailed work beforehand. You've got this presentation. I think that was excellent because, again, a lot of the stuff that was there, well, you know, what are you going to do about this? Well, actually, we've got a presentation of it. It showed your commitment to actually moving forward. It wasn't just words. It wasn't just, well, we are committed, we're very good at this. It's actually, well, look, we've done what we need to do. And if you want to believe that, we'll reinforce that by this particular piece of kit that we've got with us. And again, you start to the point on John's questions about the lack of commitment, sorry, the lack of communication. And you answered, I haven't got it, the detail of the words that we used. Again, check it out with the tape. But you were able to answer his questions directly about the communication.
that's gonna look bad to the client that like I'm talking to you over someone, but so I kind of just, sit back and try and not say anything, but that looks bad too, I think. I mean, I don't know if anyone picked up on that, but that happens to me a lot, where I'll say something, someone will jump in, and then I'll have to just totally pull back, and that it looks bad whether I pull back and not say anything, or if I continue to try and override that.
The thing I would throw in there is rather than just submit and fall back, is to acknowledge the fact that you're dropping back. It's the same as feedback today, which is that, sorry, let me hear you out. Okay.
But even if it's someone on your own team,
Yeah. I would even, particularly to someone on your team. Sorry, I cut across you.
It's a good cue for them to realize that they've interrupted you, and it's much worse for one of your own team to interrupt you than for someone on the other side of the table to do that. Particularly in situations when emotional pressure is high, when people are looking for any sort of suggestion that there's a weakness in there, or a problem that you're not being entirely honest about, entirely open with. Okay, have a look at the tape tonight and see where that actually comes out for you, because certainly from my notes, I don't think that did happen a great number of times. I looked at, sorry?
maybe I just focus on
Yeah, I mean, it must have felt like that on several occasions for you to actually come back with those sort of comments, but certainly from my observations, it didn't seem as if there was a major problem, or that you were removing yourself out of the frame. It's like, I've got something to say, I'm going to say it. Okay, you cut across me. I'll stop for a second or two, but then I'll come back and say it. And
I
that
want
again,
the client to see that, our team is not cohesive, and we're not able to work together,
again, social contract, how you set the thing up, your planning has got to be meticulous in these sort of situations. Because you go in and you say, we're going to cost you nearly £500,000. And that's bad news. Do your preparation. You've done most of it. You've done, again, we came back to what we talked about. You come back to the technical skills when you're talking about the consultants. We've done the technical bit, we're okay with it. But what's letting you down in that situation is the interpersonal stuff between each other. So focus on those sort of things. Reece, anxious to get a word in at the beginning, a lot of the time. But again, very much in a support role I felt in that situation. You're able to say that you had a solution. You're able to articulate what that
being able to get a word in?
Personally, I think so. I mean, you don't want to go to the extreme where you're just a nodding dog in the corner, but it's the situation that you're actually being there and you're showing that you're part of that process. You're part.
I found that I would do it like on and off. That's why
Yeah.
I like sit sometimes, and then everyone, I feel I need to start nodding again and looking people in the eyes and that.
Okay.
I have a question for you. I'm going to ask you all to be honest. I tend to dominate and cut people off. Did I do that a lot? Yeah.
I think you all project method.
Yeah, you were the project. Yeah, okay. But that is something that I personally am working on. I was waiting for you to give an open.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I would looking for. I would say
And Jessica had to
slow
jump in,
I'd
and then
say slow down the pace a little bit. Like give yourself breathers, give your client breathers so that people don't feel like they have to jump in.
You don't have to put words in other people's mouths. When you say, and Reece would like to open up a chain of communications with you. Well, if that's the case, why doesn't Reece bring that up? That's really, I mean, I see that as project manager, it's his responsibility to try. It's not what you introduced him as a new project manager.
Okay.
I just finished up here.
But asking you, Reece, are there any sort of things that you think of ways into that situation that you could have used
into
into that situation where it's difficult to get a word in, where it's difficult to actually say your piece in any more ways than you could?
well, I wait for a good opportunity to some like you mentioned that people start talking like what I'm used to is I'm working with in situations like that is I find I can start talking at certain points and even though the person stops, the conversation still flows, right? So I just look for an opportunity where you pause or there's a silence or something like that, and where it's comfortable for me to begin speaking. And what I do then is then I just reflect back on what was said, and then use and say, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And again, it's coming back in and following the track.
Following the track,
Yeah.
making sure, I just don't start talking.
In terms of the sort of specific comes back to this thing about preparation, almost to the point of scripting how you can talk on this thing. Okay, project manager, you're going to say this, then I'll come over this. Then you can say that, and then I'll come over this.
And this is the strategy.
Yeah,
The whole
you
meeting.
got to get there.
It's like,
Oftentimes people just say, oh, you have a meeting to plan a meeting,
or
Yeah,
and nobody wants to do it, nobody wants to get together and plan a meeting.
okay.
yeah, well, that's where these worst meetings happen.
What I would say is that these things are too valuable to cock up. You don't want to mess these things up. You don't want to be going away saying that was dreadful. This is your one chance to put things back on track, restore confidence, and make sure that people are actually aware that you're professional, articulate and able. That's what they want to know. You don't do them any favours by putting something together 2 minutes beforehand and saying, oh, we can go and just wing this. Because somebody is going to catch on to that, and that's going to lead you up a blind alley, and you're going to be dead.
And when you're the consultant and you have your project manager, your account manager is saying things way off base, that's what I found to be one of the most difficult situations. You can't
Sit the guy down. I need to talk to you.
you can't sit the project manager down and put him down and the meeting manager.
Do it before.
If it's a peer, like it's a peer who maybe wasn't involved and is saying the wrong things, that's when I would try to think of a situation to kind of step in and carry the
Yeah, then can I bring you in? You the other party in this
Oh, yeah,
transaction.
be more pissed off.
So what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think
So easy to deal with. All this money. Oh, I'm very upset with you.
no more Netscape.
But again, it's the adult. I'm very upset. Rather than shouting and ranting and raving. Put it in there. I'm very upset. I'm going to tell you about this.
And I could tell she wasn't.
Yeah, I felt her presence and like when I offered the pilot solution and you were like nodding your head, I was like very relieved.
Yeah, you know,
So you
the
recommend
problem
really
was,
strong.
sorry, the problem was I looked like I was, listening to them. I was watching them as them. Like
Right.
you listen to what they express, they should do like that. So it's kind of not really well. But there's one thing like just you said when you like dominate the conversation, because I expect the project manager is new, right?
Right.
So I thought, maybe he's not that good.
Right.
I think it was a misintroduction because he was the project manager. We were, yeah, but he will be the project manager, right?
Yeah.
He's the project manager role, so right. So I
Again,
might not be the yeah.
again, it comes back to this thing about evidence. Okay, you are the best thing since the last best thing, so prove it. Okay, what are you going to do to support that statement? We have every confidence we can achieve this, we can do that. They've heard that before, they set the original contract up, they're going to go 3 months back. Okay, so prove it. So,
I think that my overall impression right afterwards was that you were very much in control of the meeting, but that they're going to go back, they're going to have a chat on the drive back to the office, and they're going to call you up, and drop you like a hot potato. Because I think I came away that you weren't, you didn't inspire confidence. Jessica, you said I can't really promise you things, but, and then you started trying to give away design time, effort. Well, if you can't give that away, why are you telling me that? When you were trying to promise some executives time, I can't make schedules for them. That's good. I can't promise you anything, but somebody will call you back right away. Well, which is it? Are you promising me that somebody's going to come back, or that you can't make promises? You introduced him as project manager. Maybe that was a misintroduction, but
Well, that's part of the artificiality of it.
I agree.
it's a science, yeah.
some of the gestures and stuff that you are just so open and like we're here to help you and it's very powerful stuff coming on for me. And that's an impact on me. But it's interesting, you're outside the circle, you see it differently.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about why that's so tomorrow.
Yes, can we just have one more point?
Yeah, one little thing, that I felt that maybe we weren't as good at was allowing them to vent, was allowing them, we had a problem. But I mean, as soon as we saw that, it was like, oh, let's provide a solution. Let's,
Okay,
it was like,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about
I didn't think that was. But I felt like,
okay, I broke character there for a minute. I broke character. I did. I was just playing with it.
yeah, no, that's what I saw. I
There
didn't
was
see
my
it.
free child there. Free child.
Okay. Do you guys want to get out of the hot seat? You've been sat there being grilled for a few minutes. Dive out. What again, just quickly like to do is just bring everybody in and just think, well, okay, we've seen another example of how to handle the same situation. What I find interesting is we've had more or less the same situation. You had the same scenario, the same goals. Okay, the text around it was different. You see four very different ways of approaching it. We just have a few quick. I'll just stand here behind the cameras. Any sort of views on learning points from that particular example we'd like to take forward as a collective learning
how come you didn't do this before? You know, or how come I don't
How did you turn that statement around then?
Was it, is that necessarily acting in the adult though? Or is that more
it almost
when you're like,
I mean,
is
it
it
felt like
that
more like
has a lot of
we
emotion?
are not okay. I mean, I'm not okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
It's even if there's a lot of emotion to it, so maybe it's more.
Well, I couldn't, but the hard part was right. So I couldn't tell him that we hadn't screwed up because we had.
But
So
you don't have to drive it in so hard.
You don't have to put yourself down.
Okay, so
Yeah, take the blame, but don't say, yeah, I'm awful. Don't dig your own hole.
You could admit to yourself, you could
don't
admit
dig
to everybody that it was that there's a problem, and that's a reflection of accurate. That's a reflection of truth. If you drive that so far in that it becomes,
don't know what else I should say. I mean, maybe I'll watch the tape and see,
yeah,
but I don't know what else I should say. Yeah, I mean,
okay. Any other learning points, and we can perhaps carry on later on. Any other learning points from watching?
I think no one to dig that one up again. I think it is right to is to accept the responsibility and acknowledge that you have let your client down. But I would say that there was an element on the second or third iteration that maybe just one statement would have done, yes. You know, just agree. The first time you did it, I thought was brilliant
Yeah.
because there was nothing I could go back to.
yeah.
But that was enough for me. You take the steam out of it for me.
I'll bet you anything you don't realize how many times you said that.
You're right. I'd say really. Yeah.
I don't know exactly either.
What was it say? Any
If I am a client, actually, I would rather to hear that. I don't know, I mean, I'm not in the real situation. For my personality, I'd rather to accept somebody say that instead of, just avoid that and say, oh, we're right, and then, avoid the whole thing, say, oh, we're actually good. That's just a mistake. I never accepted that for myself as a client. I think, from what I learned, I think that would be the compliant child saying, oh, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings, I want to be a good kid, and I could either hook a nurturing parent that says, Well, can I add one more? If I'm an outsider of this, not as a client, I probably would prefer, like, in a group of three, one of them play the role like that, and average you know. Do this. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good cop, naughty cop,
Yeah, I
bad
mean,
cop.
somebody playing this role, somebody playing that. I think that's really
Yeah.
good for me.
So what I should have done was play Reece more. So me take the blame. Reece is your safe.
Yeah. With, I, not too much, I think of it not so much good cop, bad cop, but whipping boy. Or whipping post. And sometimes that's
Scary place to put yourself though, because you're talking about credibility, about authenticity.
It's not going to help
I
you as a counter.
don't
Yeah.
dispute that at all, but some, I mean, if you can take a little, if you can focus the blame on yourself, and if you're confident enough that you can then shuck it off or have a good argument for that, then taking that in. You know, if you're opening yourself up for total flagellation, well, okay, that's wrong.
Okay, can I just press the pause button for a second and ask if people are okay that we carry on for a few more minutes, or
I definitely have to believe it's 6:30. So
right, okay,
There's
Yeah.
buses
get
outside.
some bus.
okay, do you want to draw things to a conclusion now? Yeah, John, do you want to just
I'm not worried about the heated down there. I love this much. I love it. Just want to wrap up tonight. I want to grab a seat. Along the I thank you for your punctuality, your efforts, and your acting ability. The agents from Hollywood will be flying in. Tomorrow. This is what we've done. This is what we've done. You did? All right. Yeah. We started off. We started off this morning just a quick review yesterday. We looked at dealing with assumptions. Mark took us through problems that we have with assumptions. Where do they come from? What can we do about it? We also talked about the social contract and the need to get some of the implicit to have a practice session, and everyone's had a roll in the hot seat. That's what we've gone through today. People have been yes,
Yes.
yes. Can you hold it for 10 minutes, David?
No, he's supposed to have gone up past 6.
All right. Sleep in the morning. Thank you for watching well for you today. We'll take some feedback.
What time tomorrow? 9?
8:30.